Tonight, village councils received donation of generators and chainsaws from the government of Japan. Prime Minister Dalton Tangilangi and Niue delegation to attend the Cook Islands' 60th anniversary of self-government. And a family's encounters with sea turtles builds traditional connection and understanding with the sea creatures. Whakalofa here to Esther Pavihi. Welcome to our weekly bulletin of BCN News. And of course, a special whakalofa to and welcome to our viewers from across the Pacific, thanks to our partner Pacifica TV. Leading the bulletin tonight, Niue is sending a delegation to the Cook Islands, although the Prime Minister's office said that there is nothing to share publicly at this time. BCN News understands that Prime Minister Dalton Tangilangi and a Niue government or Niue delegation will be attending the Cook Islands' 60th anniversary of self-government celebrations in just over a week's time. Sources from the Whalefono said that the Speaker of the Niue Assembly, Hima Douglas, will be part of the delegation. Last year, the Cook Islands Prime Minister Mark Brown and his delegation attended Niue's 50th celebration of self-government. New Zealand Governor-General Dame Cindy Kiro and her husband Dr. Davies will also be attending the Cook Islands' 60th celebrations. Local media in the Cook Islands reported that the government allocated $4 million New Zealand dollars to transport Cook Islanders from the outer islands to Rarotonga for the Te Maeva Nui Festival and the 60th anniversary of self-government celebrations. The Niue delegation is understood to be departing Niue on the 2nd of August. The Acting Minister for the Police and National Disaster Management, Mr. Tofua Puletama, said that the equipment donated to the village councils yesterday from the government of Japan play a key part in the island's disaster preparedness plans. All 14 village councils received generators and chainsaws from the government of Japan's Grant Assistance for Grassroots Human Security project. Minister Puletama said that the chainsaws and the generators will help strengthen the capacity of the villages to respond to emergencies. The acting minister extended the gratitude and appreciation to the government of Japan on behalf of the Niue government and the village councils for the continuing support of Niue's grassroots projects. According to the government press release, the government of Japan has supported 6 projects since the 2016 Grant Assistance for Grassroots Human Security Project agreement was signed. The acting minister also called on the village councils to ensure the equipment are used wisely and to follow proper maintenance. Also in attendance at the handover was Acting Prime Minister Sonia Talangi and the Acting Minister of Infrastructure, Richie Mautama. BCN News understands that the village councils received 2 generators and 2 chainsaws, and the small villages received 1 generator and 1 chainsaw. Earlier this week, Prime Minister Dalton Tangilangi was in Suva in Fiji attending the Pacific Security Conference, facilitated by the Pacific Security College in partnership with 10 regional organizations. The conference brings together security leaders, experts, and stakeholders from across the region to address the region's pressing security challenges. Fiji's Prime Minister Sitiveni Rabuka, who officially opened the conference, spoke of the Ocean of Peace, a declaration that will be presented at the next Forum Leaders meeting in the Solomon Islands in September. We thank the office of the Fiji Prime Minister for the pictures used in this story. Prime Minister Dalton Tangilangi was the only other Prime Minister at this conference. Also in attendance was the Crown Prince from the Kingdom of Tonga, who is also their Minister of Foreign Affairs, Crown Prince Tupo Toa Ulukalala. Prime Minister Tangilangi was accompanied by the Secretary of Government, Peleni Talangi, and the Solicitor General, Justin Kamupala. Niue currently serves as the chair of the Forum Officials Subcommittee on Regional Security. In his official statement at the opening ceremony, Prime Minister Tangilangi emphasised the importance of national leadership and regional solidarity. Meanwhile, Fiji Prime Minister Sitiveni Rabuka said that Fiji promotes the Pacific as the ocean of peace, based on 12 key principles, including the shared commitment to the peaceful resolution of disputes based on the Pacific Way. The Director of Health, Minerva Ikimau, said that the decision for Medivacs are never made lightly. In a statement to BCN News, Ikimau said that the Health Department does not act in isolation when it comes to making the call for an air ambulance. She says that all efforts and options are exhausted before a decision is made, always keeping in the forefront the patient's safety and their best outcomes. Last week, 2 Medivac flights arrived to transport to New Zealand. One patient was transported on Monday, and the second patient was transported by air ambulance on Friday. The Director of Health says that despite the extraordinary events of needing 2 Medivac flights in such a short space of time, she continues to express her gratitude to the staff of the Department of Health, the air ambulance team, and to all local departments that they work with to support their efforts when a Medivac is activated. Ikimo says that the department's focus going forward is heavily on preventative health care. This means increased presence and engagement at community level on health awareness, health education, and health promotion. She says that as the department prepares to shift how some services are delivered, it is imperative that prevention and health promotion factors highly in their work going forward. It's that time of the year again when the government invites nominations for its annual Niue Honours Awards. There are 3 awards open for nominees. The Distinguished Service Award. This award celebrates individuals who have contributed many years of outstanding service to the people and the nation of Niue. The second one is the Public Service Award. This award celebrates individuals who have served in the Niue Public Service and have contributed significantly to the public service and the nation. And the Community Service Award. This award celebrates individuals who have served or contributed significantly to the community and the nation. Now, former recipients of the Distinguished Service Award include former Premier Honourable Young Vivian, and last year the Distinguished Service Award was bestowed upon 2 former MPs, including Mrs. Lapasi Paka, one of the first women elected to the Niue Assembly, and former Speaker and former MP Tama Pusimani. And the third recipient last year was long-serving Member of Parliament and former Minister Billy Talangi. Nominations for the Niue Honours Awards 2025 will close at 4 p.m. on the 24th of September. Submissions can be directed to the National Awards Committee at the Office of the Prime Minister. And 6 local businesses will receive e-commerce coaching and grant support valued at 45,000 Australian dollars as part of the Pacific Island Forum Secretariat and PACER Plus's EBiz Plus program. The businesses are Niofa, Niue Vanilla International, Sana's Crafts, Ebony Carvings, Lupe Niue, and Bonds Infotech. The CEO of the Niue Chamber of Commerce, Catherine Papani, said that they are very pleased for the 6 businesses and they continue to support initiatives like this to provide assistance to small businesses on the island. Catherine Papani says that this program was organised by the Pacific Islands Forum. 15 businesses applied directly to the Pacific Islands Forum, showing their business objectives and plans, and the Pacific Island Forum Secretariat selected the 6 successful businesses. These 6 businesses will receive personalised coaching and financial assistance to help them grow their business and tap into new opportunities in the digital economy. Tonight, in our features segment, we share with you a story about a family's connection with the sea turtles. For many years, the Hekau Harding family of Alofi South have had many encounters with sea turtles, and in particular with 2 young men of their family, Kameha and Fotunga, who learned at a very young age how to respect and the respectful treatment of the turtle from their father, Colin Harding. The boys have had many encounters since then with the turtles. We spoke to the boys' auntie, Sinahimana Hekau, about their family's special connection with sea turtles. Sina Hekau, who is also a Member of Parliament, said that for a long time her nephews Kameha and Fotunga often encounter sea turtles when they go diving, so it was not surprising on Saturday when she got the call from her sister.
Last Saturday was Alofi South Marine Day. The whole community was out doing whatever they could to participate and contribute to the events of the day. My family, Colin, the boys, Kameha and Fotunga, they went out diving early in the early hours of the morning. So that was about mid-morning when my sister messaged. She said, "Oh, the guys brought home a turtle. Do you want to come?" And we know how special it is, how significant it is. And so we all gathered there. My mom called my other siblings and their kids to come and witness that special moment. with the boys, just talk story about it, and then we did the family ritual as usual. And then after that, I said to my sister, okay, so when we're ready to return, please let us know. Like a few hours later.
The boys would bring the turtles home, and the family would use this time to share stories and educate the young ones about the sacred sea creature and what it means to their family. Sometimes the turtles would look tired or had some damage from propellers or had barnacles attached to it, so they would bring the turtle home, clean it, and always return the sacred creatures back to the ocean.
My family certainly have a connection with the turtles. My nephews in particular, they started off diving from their dad, Colin Harding, and the turtle. They started off, showing the kids what they are and how significant they are for us. So our approach has always been from a cultural or customary traditional understanding, and how the turtle is a sacred creature for us. And over the years, we've been blessed to meet the sea turtle. Sometimes we meet them down at the sea when my nephew's out diving. We'll go down to the sea. Sometimes he'll bring them home.
The family had not shared publicly their encounters with the sea turtles until last Saturday during the Alofi South Marine Day, when the boys again had an encounter with sea turtle and they brought it ashore and took it to the village weigh-in event where BCN cameras captured these scenes. Sina Hekau also shared some pictures on her social media account. The reaction, she said, was quite surprising because people immediately assumed that they would eat the turtle. So she said that speaking to us would help spread the message that turtles are a revered sea creature, and seeing one or encountering one is seen as a sign of spiritual connection.
I think like from last Saturday, I didn't realize how diverse the views were. I posted about it on Facebook simply because I really appreciate, meeting the turtle at this time, this season where my community is coming together to celebrate at our annual show day. And it was for that appreciation. But I noticed that there was some negative assumptions about it, that, we're harming the turtle or we're eating it and things like that, which is, that cannot be far from the truth. If anything, we have this appreciation for the turtle, and we understand it's a sacred creature to us, giving it our blessings and asking for it to bless us in return.
Like many times before, the family gathered to educate the little ones about the turtle and what it means to their family. After the family rituals, they returned the turtle to the sea. While the older members of the family watched from the shore, the younger members joined Kameha as he carried the sea turtle across the reef and slowly watched it as it made its way to the edge of the coral and swam away. What a lovely story to share with you this week. And to sports news from the weekend, round 3 of the Tri-Net tournament held last Saturday. But some teams had to default games due to clashes with other events that also took place on Saturday. The Niue Island Netball Association President Carol Edwards said that unfortunately teams played short as players either arrived late or left early. This affected the outcomes of the results according to the point system used because some teams had to default games. Edwards said that all teams played great games with the Tri-Net tournament, but it also allowed the organising committee and NINA the opportunity to improve the tournament for all netball enthusiasts on the island. The prize giving will be held on the 26th of this month after the mixed walking netball tournament. Team Classics, Hakupu and Tuapa are on the top of the points table since the start of the tournament. And to end the bulletin tonight, in the lead up to their annual village show day this coming Saturday, last weekend the village of Alofi South hosted its Marine Day, drawing families and friends to the sea. Our cameras went along to capture some of the scenes from the day from the safety of the shores. And thank you to our camera and video editor, Valentine Lavadi, for those scenes and shots from the Alofi Marine Day last Saturday. Do join us and the village of Alofi South for their annual village show day this coming Saturday at Halamahanga. But BCN News will be back on Tuesday with our bulletin in Wangahau. In the meantime, from all of us in the team here, BCN, wishing you all a lovely evening. Good night.